Forced to disobey their religion, persecuted and imprisoned. The Uyghur Muslims in China are being imprisoned in modern-day concentration camps in Xinjiang, and the world is mostly unaware of the travesty China has committed. The Uyghur Muslims in China are being imprisoned in modern-day concentration camps with their rights stripped away, and China is denying all accountability. The Uyghur Muslims in China are marginalized and have their rights violated in multiple ways. They have been forced to break their religious beliefs. As an article by Masad Hayun states, it stated that when he was in China, he spoke to a Uyghur teacher who stated that she was forced to feed children who are Muslim and Uyghur during Ramadan, which is a month where they are supposed to fast. She also states that they are banning Uyghur minors from entering mosques. The Uyghur Human Rights Project with Adria J. Warden has found that the Chinese government since 2014 has been forcing Uyghurs to interethnically marry with the local Han's people in an attempt to synchronize the Uyghur population with the Han's population, henceforth destroying Uyghur culture. They are also tracked and persecuted by authorities. In Mackenzie Bringla's article, Big Brother Z and How China's Surveillance of the Uyghur People Violates International Law, she states that there are 1 million Uyghurs in modern-day concentration camps. She also states that they are randomly checked, questioned, and monitored on the streets. In a paper by James Leopold, he stated that a 2015 regulation put forth by the Chinese government stated that 10 special groups needed to be monitored daily. Those included were underground preachers, parents who force their children to practice religion, young men who shave their beards, women who wear hijabs, people who participate in a Hajj outside of official tours, and those influenced by extremist beliefs and their relatives, convicted terrorists, and others who display extreme religious thought. Many of the people mentioned above were those who just wanted to practice their religion and live. Yet they are imprisoned and treated horribly by the local police. James Leopold went on to state that in 2017, for an unknown reason, Xinjiang began rounding up Muslims for mass internment. Joanne Finley published a paper in which she established that China has been incarcerating upwards of 1 million Uyghurs and other Turkic Muslims, which is the largest mass incarceration of an ethnic minority since World War II. Finley also states in interviews with victims that prove that China was performing mass sterilization and forced abortions on the people in these camps. Adrian Zins leaked a document from the Chinese government showing that they incarcerated women for having too many children. In these camps, they are stripped of all human rights and given no fair treatment or anything at all. Finley also stated Lunar Omizaka, a Chinese-born cat, related on how the government ordered her to have an IUD. And then later on, they came to her with a $3,000 US fine for having a third child. She states, they want to destroy us as a people. People there are terrified of giving birth now. When I think of the word Xinjiang, I can still feel that fear. Tunar Zumai, a Uyghur who survived being sent to one of these camps, is now in the US and stated, she overheard a Chinese man saying, "Look, we should stop because she is going to die." And another one saying, "She's going to die. I think it's a bit too much." And another one saying, "So what? I mean, if she dies, so what? Isn't our purpose just to kill them anyway?" These camps force the Uyghur people to work tirelessly, free of pay and free of any rights, in mines working for cotton and other agricultural resources. On January 19, 2021, the United States labeled the treatment of the Uyghur people and other Turkic Muslims as a genocide and crimes against humanity. The U.S. Customs and Border Protection stated that President Biden has signed the Uyghur Forced Labor Prevention Act into law. This is a step in the right direction, as it bans products made by forced Uyghur labor, but we need to do more. Some may say this is not our problem, but it is, and here's why. Luke 6:3 states, "If you only do good by those who do good to you, what credit is that to you? For even sinners do that." This verse shows us that we need to help even those who have done nothing to us or for us. What if you are one of those who are persecuted and incarcerated? Would you want the world to speak out for you? Would you want China to be held accountable for what they were doing? Roman 15:1 states, "Now we ought to be strong. Now we who are strong ought to bear the weakness of those without strength and not just please ourselves." This verse is another example of why we should help those in need. Some people think that in our Western world, where we live in this little bubble, issues like this don't happen anymore. They do. The world is just as evil as it was when Hitler was still around. As Christians, it is our obligation to help people like these who are suffering with their rights stripped away in modern-day concentration camps in China. Some of the ways we can help these people would be, we must speak out and hold China accountable. We must have human rights groups help refugees from China. Some of the groups that help these refugees would be the Uyghur Human Rights Project, the Uyghur Refugee Rights Fund, and supportuyghurs.org. We must also make sure to avoid purchasing products made in these labor camps and by China. We must stand up to free the Uyghur people from China's clutches and China's lack of responsibility for their actions. With the help of the rest of the world, the Uyghurs in China may get a fighting chance, and China may be held accountable for the genocide and modern-day Holocaust they have committed to the Uyghur people. We cannot let this happen. We cannot let evils like this continue in our world, for one day they will show up at our door. We must stop this atrocity and genocide before it can get even worse. Xi Jinping must be held accountable for what he is doing to the Uyghur people. In the words of John F. Kennedy, the rights of every man are diminished when the rights of one man are threatened. Done.
Wow!